Good day, fight fans, and welcome back to Pressure Point.
But I hope JDM absolutely punches his little head in. Yeah, I hope JDM batters him. And if he can keep it on the feet, then he will absolutely batter him. And I hope he does. Islam was chatting pony the other day.
Not Paddy for sure. Paddy beat who? Like Tony Ferguson, who else he beat? Everybody beat Chandler. Nobody checked Paddy before.
Absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest.
I'd love to hear it for him. He earned this the hard way. He cleaned out a division, maybe the hardest division in the sport. He's moved to another division. This is what it's all about. And not to mention, it's something he will never discuss. But if you don't always want to be the heir apparent to King Khabib's throne, you gotta do something that Khabib didn't do. And this is his opportunity. And I know inside that's not his motivation.
Paddy Pimblett just fired back at Islam Makhachev for disrespecting him, and he didn't hold back for a second. Paddy was clearly heated in his new interview, calling out Islam for questioning his record and acting like Paddy had no business even thinking about a lightweight title fight with Ilia Topuria. Paddy snapped back, saying Islam ran off to 172 quick, and he dared him to slide right back down to lightweight if he really wanted smoke. Paddy said straight up that Jack Della Maddalena's boxing would piece Islam up on the feet, and he swore he could outstrike him without breaking a sweat.
Don't know how I see it playing out, but I hope JDM absolutely punches his little head in. Yeah, I hope JDM batters him. I think JDM's a much better boxer, and if he can keep it on the feet, then he will absolutely batter him, and I hope he does. Islam was chatting pony the other day, saying who have I beat when he got a title shot at lightweight off beating Bobby Green, someone who I beat faster than you little bum. So how about that one, Islam? Get back down to lightweight and I'll punch your head in as well.
He brushed off Islam's talk about resumes, saying if Islam ever came back to 155, Paddy would deal with him personally and show him what time it is. Islam, meanwhile, has been laughing at the idea of Paddy getting anywhere near a title shot against Ilia Topuria. He questioned what Paddy had actually done to earn that spot, saying beating Michael Chandler doesn't prove anything since others have already done it. He also pointed out that Paddy still hasn't faced a real top-tier contender yet. According to him, a matchup between Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan makes way more sense because Arman is skilled everywhere, while Paddy wouldn't present any serious danger to the champion.
Now I don't know who's going to be next for Ilia.
Kind of feels like Paddy is sort of the most likely one. It's a vision.
Oh man, maybe Arman, maybe Gaethje, but not Paddy for sure.
How come?
Man, I don't know who Paddy beat who. Like Tony Ferguson, who else he beat?
Michael Chandler.
Yeah. Everybody beat Chandler. I don't know, maybe. Honestly, it's not big challenge for Topuria. If he beat Arman, it's like, it's, you know, very like, because Arman have good skills, striking, wrestling, grappling, he's a like good fighter, but Paddy, nobody checked Paddy before.
However, Paddy Pimblett...
But Paddy isn't letting that slow him down, not even for a second. He keeps pushing hard for that fight with Ilia Topuria and turned up the trash talk even louder.
I think most people would love to see you inside the cage with Ilia Topuria. How would you get the job done against Ilia?
Absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest. People have put him on a pedestal now. They think he's this big, amazing thing when I'll bring him crashing back down to earth in a big way.
Paddy insisted he'd break Topuria down inside the cage, saying he could win standing or on the ground, and promised to expose the champ as overrated. Paddy kept swinging verbally at Ilia, telling him to sign the contract already and face him. He even claimed Topuria only became famous because of him and called the champ fake, accusing him of buying followers and copying the style of Conor McGregor. Paddy even mocked Topuria's nationality, saying that since he was born in Germany, he shouldn't be calling himself Spanish or Georgian.
I will inflict pain on his life. He wouldn't come out of that fight looking the same. I'd hit him with that many elbows. Is this going out to Spanish media? Step up, Ilia. Stop being a chirito. Be a man. You know, no one would know who Ilia Topuria was if it wasn't for me. He made himself famous off the back of my name. He wouldn't even be a champ now if it wasn't for him jumping on my coattails. And now he thinks he's too good to fight me. You wouldn't be where you are without me. The Bernabeu's a nice stadium, know what I mean? But to me, because it's his backyard, it's a shithole. That's like a metaphor, it's like what we say. I will come to the Bernabeu and I will punch his face in on the pitch, and then I'll batter half the team if I need to. But I'm taking the belt home, because he's not a Madrid fan. He's not even from Madrid. He's not even from Spain. He's from Benidorm, so he's not a Madrid fan. He just jumped on the coattails to get more fans and more followers. He's fake. He's so fake, like half of his followers, where it's been proven half his followers on Instagram. He's the fakest person ever.
On the other side, Chael Sonnen gave his own take on Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight, saying the switch might mark the start of Islam stepping into his own legacy outside the shadow of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Chael said Islam may never openly admit it, but this move gives him the chance to chase something Khabib never did. He added that years from now, Islam's grandkids will look back at this moment as the one where he broke out and built his own legendary path.
I'd love to hear it from him. He earned this the hard way. He cleaned out a division, maybe the hardest division in the sport. He's moved to another division. This is what it's all about. And not to mention, it's something he will never discuss. But if you don't always want to be the heir apparent to King Khabib's throne, you got to do something that Khabib didn't do. And this is his opportunity. And I know inside that's not his motivation. He is not trying to show up Khabib. But I am just suggesting at some point his grandkids are going to look back on his career and they will now have something they can turn to that is different than Uncle Khabib.
Yeah, he said that the other day. Somebody asked him, like, well, it doesn't matter for you. He goes, what a stupid question. He goes, Khabib's my brother. He goes, I don't want to do anything better than him. He goes, we do this together, but this is for my legacy. And right now, Islam's on the verge of legacy.
Meanwhile, Ali Abdelaziz dropped a bold update on Islam Makhachev right before his showdown with Jack Della Maddalena, saying fans are about to witness the sharpest version of the lightweight champion ever seen. He even claimed that today's Islam faced the old Islam, he'd stop his past self in the first round without hesitation. According to Abdelaziz, Islam is bigger, stronger, and healthier than he's ever been, finally free from brutal weight cut issues and ready to make every opponent look like an amateur.
Spending some time around Islam, how is he looking going into this fight now that we're so close to his welterweight debut? What does a welterweight Islam Makhachev look like in the training room?
He's the best Islam. If Islam right now fought the old Islam, we beat him in the first round. He's big, he's strong, he's healthy, he's happy, he's not suffering cutting weight, and he's very, very strong. He make everyone feel like an amateur.
Nick Barnell called the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena a freak clash, pointing out that Jack brings a unique mix of size and style compared to most of Islam's previous opponents. He acknowledged Islam as one of the most complete fighters in the game, but said this fight becomes spicy because historically Islam hasn't always had the easiest time dealing with rangy strikers with sharp and accurate hands.
From a technical side, this fight is intriguing because what we're seeing out of Jack Della Maddalena is a totally different style of fighting and body type than what we've seen Islam compete against at 155. Now, Jack is a very high-level striker, and we've seen him have a ton of success at 170 against other great strikers and grapplers, but nobody at Islam Makhachev's level. Now, skill for skill, most people still have Islam Makhachev as the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC. But this style versus style is very intriguing because Islam has had trouble against rangy strikers, people who can extend their punches and find his target at the end of his strikes.
Barnell added that Jack Della Maddalena comes in with plenty of firepower, but the real story will depend on what Islam chooses to do. He explained that unlike fighters who fall in love with their hands once they land something clean, Islam is expected to stay locked into his roots: pressure, takedowns, submissions, and clean control on top. Islam's striking will still show up sharp, with smart distance management and precise shots, just like in his second fight with Alexander Volkanovski.
Fight camp is going to dictate where this fight takes place. Islam is not like most guys where once they start finding knockouts or once they start having a lot of success with their feet, they wind up becoming knockout artists. Islam still knows his best way to win this fight is by taking Jack to the ground and cooking him and then basically finding a submission or some ground and pound. I don't see Islam going out there trying to just strike with the high-level striker, but I also don't see him selling out for a takedown. I think Islam's going to go out there and be measured the way we saw him against Volk in the second fight. He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to look to strike and throw some kicks.
Earlier, Barnell even suggested that Jack's style might be the first real stylistic threat Islam has faced inside the UFC, breaking down how Islam's dominance at lightweight gets underappreciated. Not because he's lacking anything, but because Khabib set a standard so unreal, most fighters can't escape the comparison. Barnell also noted that Islam's title run has been thrown off at times by late-notice opponent changes, making some of his wins look less traumatic than they actually were.
I really think that Jack Della Maddalena has the perfect style to combat Islam and moreover give us what we've wanted out of an Islam Makhachev fight for years now, which is a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Islam, it was really unfortunate for him because his entire legacy legacy as 155 champion is a bit tarnished, and it's not from anything he did, but because of our expectations and how good he is and the footprint that Khabib laid and then he had to follow. It felt very quickly that once he got the belt, there was a big gap in skill between him and everybody else. And then with a couple things like fallouts happening, Arman Sarukian, you know, pulling out like a day before the event, him having to fight Renato Moicano instead, all of those types of things made Islam's career at 155 feel diminished and not as epic as it truly was. So this to me is exactly where Islam needed to go with his career if he wanted to get the respect and the legacy that he's been trying to build since he, you know, had dreams of the UFC.
On the lighter side, MMA Guru joked about his dramatic dislike for Dagestani fighters, painting a wild, hilarious picture of Jack Della Maddalena stopping Islam with body shots as the whole arena breaks into chaos. His over-the-top story was clearly just comedy, showing his playful bias rather than any real analysis.
JDM, body shots against the cage, TKO's Makhachev, he shits his pants. Khabib slips over in it, crying in the corner. Like that, and then Khabib gets angry, he stops crying and he gets angry. And then all of a sudden he's climbing the cage, like something overcomes him to attack JDM from behind. He sucker punches JDM from behind, and JDM just turns around and just starts fucking laying into him with combos, dude. And then Khabib gets slept on the ground as well. And no one steps in because he just attacked JDM, you know what I mean? It's not like a part of the thing, so it's not the referee's job to step in there. So JDM just fucking raining down elbows like he was doing to Gilbert Burns. And then Makhachev wakes back up. Umar, help! Umar, help! Umar jumps in, and then the referee pushes Umar off the steps as he's trying to climb into the cage, and Umar slips over into the cage.
Meanwhile, Usman Nurmagomedov expects Islam Makhachev to drag Jack into deep waters, take him down, drain his energy, and control the whole fight from the top. He said everyone knows exactly what Islam wants to do, but no one has ever managed to shut it down. Usman also mentioned that Islam's hunt for a second belt has fired up the entire team because it would be a major achievement their gym has never hit before.
How do you think Islam does against JDM?
They're gonna take him down, make him tired, hold him there, and after that, if you can finish him, if you can, by decision you have to win. All people know what we're gonna do, but they can do nothing with that. And we're so excited for him because of two-time champion. In our gym, we don't have this guy, but Islam gonna be, inshallah.
Belal Muhammad believes
Islam has everything needed to dominate and finish Jack on the ground. He said fighters who haven't felt that level of Dagestani-style pressure get overwhelmed fast once they touch the canvas. Belal added that Islam's grappling is on a completely different level and that Jack leaves too many openings once the fight hits the mat.
I mean, I think my mindset, I think Islam can finish him on the ground, for sure. And especially it's like, we saw it with DDP. If you never felt one of those Dagestani-style wrestlers, like you don't want it to be your first time in the cage feeling it. Yeah. And Islam and them, they have a different feel. They have a different type of grappling. So for JDM, even in our fight, he makes mistakes on the ground. He does a lot of stuff.
Demetrious Johnson broke down the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, saying this fight can go in two totally different directions. It could be crazy exciting or painfully slow, depending on who imposes their game. Johnson gave big props to Jack for stepping up, and he pointed out that the size difference between them is way smaller than people think. He explained that Islam has been sharpening up with Greg Jones and Alexander Volkanovski to prepare for Jack's wrestling defense. He said if Islam gets top control early, the fight could slow down quick. But if JDM stuffs those takedowns, fans might end up watching a straight-up war.
Trying to be a banger fight. For him to take on a guy like Islam Makhachev, not steering away from that challenge. And you know, Islam is coming up, so he's going to be, I feel like comparably size-wise, they're going to be about even, you know. Islam's super good. JDM's got Craig Jones in the camp to, you know, battle. And Volkanovski to battle that, you know, Dagestani wrestling. It's going to be, it could be two things. It could be a very, very boring fight, or it could be a very, very exciting fight. Meaning by the way it could be boring is if Islam's able to take down JDM and get his back, hold him there, out grapple him, stifle him, he could potentially do that.
Johnson also highlighted Jack Della Maddalena's non-stop mindset, saying Jack refuses to settle in bad positions and is always fighting his way out. He brought up the Gilbert Burns fight, where Jack kept trying to stand and fire back even after being taken down multiple times. Johnson praised that persistence and his strong anti-wrestling skills, saying those traits are exactly what make this matchup so interesting. He added that Jack's sharp and precise boxing adds another dangerous layer, turning this into a rare high-level clash between elite fighters from 155 and 170.
The one thing I love about JDM when he fights is he never accepts the position. When he was fighting Gilbert Burns, great grappler, takes him down. Right when he gets up, he throws that knee into the void. Gilbert Burns ducks down into it. He runs into it. JDM doesn't accept the position when he gets taken down. He's always looking to grapple, always look at the anti-wrestle. That's what makes this fight exciting. And he's got some fucking good hands. He's not the way his boxing is, he's very tight. I'm excited for that fight just because we're seeing the best at 155 take on the best at 170. It's very rare when the moons align.
Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo claimed Islam Makhachev will dominate JDM from start to finish at UFC 322. He doesn't understand why people think Jack can hang with him, saying Islam is better in every area and predicting a completely one-sided fight. Islam's coach Javier Mendes agrees that Islam holds the edge, but warns fans not to expect an easy night. He pointed out how quickly Jack Della Maddalena has improved and how tough he's looked in his recent performances. Mendes believes the fight will be competitive, though he admitted that if anyone can make it look simple, it's Islam.
Explain to me why he's better or why he's going to give Islam a good fight. I just don't see it. Striking, grappling, submissions, takedown defense, takedowns. I see total dominance from my brother, Islam Makhachev.
Kamaru Usman agrees that
Kamaru Usman also said the matchup is way more intriguing than people first believed. He praised Jack's steady growth and acknowledged Islam's dominance across the board, saying the fight might end up being a lot closer and more entertaining than it seemed on paper.
I want Islam to win, but it's not going to be that easy. Jack has just gotten exponentially better in such a short time. I've watched him in a couple of fights. Spirit was never broke. It's going to be difficult, but if someone can make it look straight up easy, Islam possesses the skills.
I'm hearing through the grapevines too that Islam Makhachev, he doesn't have that too many fights in his career. Remember, dude, Khabib Nurmagomedov retired young, bro. These guys will follow suit. You know why? They train like freaking maniacs. They train hard, bro. There's something different with Russians. They love leaving on top.
Garry shared his take too, saying Jack likely controls most of the striking exchanges, but the real test will be stopping Islam's takedowns over 5 long rounds at UFC 322. He stressed how elite Islam's grappling is and how he's been training that style for his entire life, saying Jack can shine on the feet, but surviving that pressure non-stop is what will decide the winner.
The fight for me really is when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently like he did against Belal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Belal of stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop the takedown consistently over 5 rounds?
Machado Garry is gearing up to clash with Belal Muhammad at UFC Qatar, locked in on taking one more big step toward his welterweight title shot. Garry says he's fully focused on beating Belal and proving that he's the best welterweight on the planet, no debate. He claims it doesn't matter whether the belt ends up around Jack Della Maddalena's waist or Islam Makhachev's. He plans to fight both of them sooner or later, and he's certain his rise can't be stopped. Garry keeps saying he's the future of the division, and he's ready to show it loud and clear.
I'm going to finish Belal Muhammad. That's my goal. That is my single one focus of this fight, is I want to go out there and leave it unquestionable that I'm the single greatest welterweight walk on the planet, because they're going to be able to compare us over the last 7 days, right? From November 22nd to November 15th. They're going to be able to compare us all. I want everyone to say that I look the best. And whoever wins that belt, Jack or Islam, I don't mind. I really don't have any preference. I'm going to fight both of them eventually, I believe, because I believe both of them are going to be up and around the top of the division for a long time. I am going to fight them wherever, whenever, and I will punch a hole in their head, because there is nobody in this planet stopping me from getting that belt wrapped around my waist. We are this close, Ariel, to succeeding in that takeover part 2. I told the entire UFC fan base on the mic, I'm the future. I am inevitable. I'm this close to proof.
Garry also gave Belal Muhammad major props, pointing out Belal's knockout win over Sean Brady and his dominant performance against Leon Edwards. Garry said that beating Belal will erase any doubt about who deserves the next title shot. He even added that if he finishes Belal, a former champion and the current #1 contender, faster than Della did, then nobody will be able to deny he's next in line for the gold.
I saw your video on your Instagram right after the news came out, and you said you wanted it to be a #1 contender fight, and once they couldn't guarantee that, you changed direction. Is that accurate?
No, I wanted to be publicly announced that it was a #1 contender fight. If you're look, me and Sean Brady, you said it yourself at the start of the show that was the fight to make, and the winner of that goes to the world title. I don't disagree with you at all. I think that makes a lot of sense. However, there was a guy, I said to the UFC, there was like when you've got someone, personally I wanted no excuses. I wanted no one to be able to jump the ladder because of any excuses.
Garry also revealed some behind-the-scenes drama, saying he was originally set to fight Sean Brady at UFC Vancouver. Both fighters had already agreed to the matchup, but the whole thing quietly fell apart without him even being told.
So from my point of view, I sought after a fight with Belal first, because as I said, Belal has knocked out #2 in Sean Brady, and he has smashed #3 in Leon Edwards. So when you smoke Belal, it's obvious what comes next. Now, if I go out there and do that to Sean Brady, someone can have that argument, oh, but you haven't beat this guy, and someone else, and I didn't want any of that. So for me, it actually works out better, Ariel, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Have you been told, though, you beat Belal, you're next?
When you knock out #1 in the world, there is nothing else. When you knock out a former champion, and who's #1 in the world right now, and you smash him in less rounds than JDM could, then that's all that matters to me. I know I'm getting a world title fight after this.
Garry said he only realized the fight was canceled when he saw Reinier de Ridder versus Fluffy Hernandez get announced as the main event instead, leaving him wondering what happened. And that is all from Pressure Point today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting us know which story stood out to you most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.